day, viewers. My name is Martha Andreas, the presenter of this program. Straight to our first story. The Corporate Communication and Marketing Division of NYC was at the Ngwediva and Okakarara trade fairs to inform and educate the youth on programs and activities of the Youth Council and how the youth can benefit. Brian Prince reports.
Over 348 young people and dignitaries were reached with information and education on the National Youth Council Youth Development Programs and Activities at the Ngwediva and Okakarara trade fairs. The Ngwediva Trade Fair, which runs from 25th August to 3rd September, and Okakarara Trade Fair from 4th to 3rd September, provided the opportunity for the National Youth Council and the young people to interact on youth developmental issues. The youth were informed on NYC mandate, programs and activities, and how they can benefit. The visitors also have the opportunity to ask questions and seek clarity around youth issues they lack proper understanding on. Some of the visitors to the stand were dignitaries such as Mr. Mandela Kapere, Executive Chairperson of the National Youth Council, and Honorable Mose Kazapwa, the Mayor of Windhoek City. Beneficiaries of the National Youth Council Credit for Youth in Business Scheme and the Youth Leadership Development Program also visited the stand. NYC and the Ministry of Sport, Youth and National Service shared the exhibition stand at the Ngwediva Trade Fair. The division is hoping to attend some other upcoming expos and trade fairs, especially those that the youth visits.
The World Federation of Democratic Youth, WFDY, is a platform where young people from all corners of the world gathers to discuss issues that affect their life and development internationally. This year's event will take place in Russia. Two members of the local organizing committee in Namibia will be leaving for Russia first week of October this year. Kito Nakandungile, one of the members, speaks to NYC TV on why they have to leave before the actual date of festival.
Basically, why we want to go, we want our delegation to be registered and to not have a lot of hiccups and join the other long queues like any other countries. So we want to register our country specifically, and once we're done that, we can join the rest of the team to register other countries.
And why only two people?
Myself and Samuel Ahamov, well known as Achis. Only two of us because of the financial constraints. It's going to cost us a lot if we have to take more members in advance.
When you get there, you're talking about registering Namibia. Are you only going to register Namibians, or you are going to be part of the volunteers that will register other countries?
Our main focus is Namibia. Once we are done with registering with Namibia, we will then join the other team and register other delegates.
Years back, there was not a good experience in terms of delegates, from Namibia going to such an event and then finding it difficult to have accommodation, finding it difficult to get something to eat. How far are you guys prepared to ensure that this doesn't happen this time around?
Yes, we are actually prepared, and we have a good relationship with the Russian Federation as well as the National Preparatory Committee of Russia. That's also one of the reasons why the two of us will go in advance to make sure that the Namibian delegation is well sorted, well taken care of, the accommodation is in place, and it's enough for all the delegates, and that no delegate will come and not have a place to sleep or will be stuck in corridors not having an accommodation with their luggages and so on. These are some of the things that we want to avoid this time around. We are trying to improve and learn from the past and make it look better this time.
You've been to Russia?
Yes, I have been to Russia.
What's your experience of Russia?
It was both good and both bad because of the language barrier. When I went there the first time, the first week, it was actually not so good because we did not have translators, so it was really hard to communicate, and not a lot of people speak English. You will find a few young people here and there that speak English that are doing English courses, even though they are not yet fluent in communicating, and they might not understand you sometimes. But looking at the magnitude of this event, I am definitely sure that there will be enough translators for everyone. And other people that are also coming from other countries that don't understand at least Russian, they'll speak English. So communication barrier, I think this time around, will be minimized and it will be sorted.
What's your advice to those that are going?
Yes, my advice to the delegates, especially the Namibian delegates, is for them to read through their rules. The rules have been shared for all participants and volunteers, for them to read through their rules and just adhere to those rules. The Russian Federation is quite a serious country. People don't take matters really that light. So if you are fined not behaving within their rules, it's going to cost you a lot. It might ruin your future of ever even returning back to that country. I just want them to behave according to the rules that are set up by the committee.
The Y family and colleagues of Mr. Banky Foster Banky would like to invite all his friends to a memorial service in his honor. Banky Foster Banky passed on last month at his residence. The memorial service will take place at the Gateway Conference Center in Commersdal on Saturday 30th of this month. Who is Banky Foster Banky? Honorable Na Sangula, Honorable Theo Ben-Gurirak, and Miriam Nidipo, his colleagues at the PISA, explained.
Well, I met Mr. Banky far back during the liberation struggle that was in Angola. During that time, Mr. Banky was a diplomat representing his great country, Ghana. But he showed great interest in the progress of the liberation struggle. So he would always come to SWAP offices, to ANC offices in Rwanda, and discuss the progress of the struggle. Then after independence, Mr. Banky came here. He was working for the government, I think for the Minister of Justice or something like that. Then in 2005, we were asked by the Pan-African Students Association of the University of Namibia to organize a Pan-African conference on the 25th of May. It's a celebration of the founding of the Organization of African Unity. Since then, we have been together. Sometimes he leaves Namibia. For example, at one time he stayed for a long time in southern Sudan. But after that conference on the founding of the Organization of African Unity, the students, the Pan-African Association of the University of Namibia wanted to have an organization dedicated to the Pan-African issues. Mr. Banky and I encouraged them to establish PACON, Pan-African Center of Namibia. However, PACON through its evolution seemed to have lost steam and focus, so much so that the Pan-African agenda was not really receiving the deserved attention. That's why upon my retirement, I approached Mr. Banky that we should establish an organization which is active. And we came up with the Pan-African Institute for the Study of African Society, of which he was a director and a reliable worker. Very systematic, very focused, and very committed. However, in May, I left to attend the Kwame Nkrumah Intellectual and Cultural Festival. in Accra, Ghana. That was my last time before my departure. I saw him. We have lost a brother. We have lost a Pan-African committed cadre. We have lost a thinker and a committed cadre to the plight of Africans here on the continent and global Africa, the diaspora.
Bangi was a servant of the people. He lived particularly for the purposes of the African nation. Is Bangi alive or dead? A skeptic. You got to show me evidence, and that evidence would be Bangi's body. But as a working hypothesis, I have been told that he is dead. I have not seen his body. I have not spoken to him. I don't want to look at his pictures and be convinced that he is dead. And when he himself to speak to me, to give me that assurance, that as evidence. Bangi is dead. But who says so? I say he's not dead.
Ever since the day I met Mr. Bangi, up until the time of his passing, I must say he became a great part of my life. He inspired me, he mentored me, and he gave me good advices in the direction of being a young Pan-African ambassador. So our institute will never be the same again without him, because he played a major contribution to the Pan-African Institute for the Study of the African Society. A typical meeting of our institute will include our chairperson, Honorable Nasa Angola, Deputy Chair, Comrade Theo Ben-Gurera, the director and secretary, Mr. Bangi Foster, and myself. And he will always be so articulate, so on time, and present minutes and all the relevant documentations to us in advance, even before meetings. And the discussions discussed in our meetings were always inspirational, all in the name of Africa. So learning about his passing is something that is very difficult to accept, something difficult to believe, but we cannot judge God. And God has, I believe, has taken him to a better place. All I can say is that I'll never forget the great moments we shared. And although he has left us, although he has left this world, he hasn't left with all his knowledge. He has mentored many young people. And speaking on my own behalf, I must say, Mr. Bangi, you have left me, but you have not left with all your knowledge, as you have planted it to me. So rest in eternal peace, Mr. Bangi, until we meet again.
We have come to the end of this week's news update. Please like us on our Facebook and Twitter account. Please share this with all your friends. Goodbye.